Did you know Khrushchev once worked in coal mines and later held the power to end civilization? Nikita Khrushchev was born in 1894 in a small Russian village. He grew up poor, worked as a coal miner as a young man, and had almost no formal education. He slowly climbed through Soviet politics, surviving Stalin's brutal purges by staying quiet and useful. When Stalin died in 1953, Khrushchev outmaneuvered everyone around him and became leader of the most powerful communist nation on earth. Then came October 1962. For 13 days, the United States and the Soviet Union stood at the edge of nuclear war over missiles placed in Cuba. The world had never been closer to total destruction. Khrushchev chose to pull back. He ordered the missiles removed. That single decision likely saved hundreds of millions of lives. Most people remember him for banging a shoe at the United Nations. But a coal miner's son made the most important choice in Cold War history, and he chose the world over his pride. Did you know Churchill spent nearly 10 years warning about Hitler, while his own government laughed at him? Winston Churchill was born in 1874 into one of Britain's most powerful families. He became a soldier, a war hero, and eventually a member of Parliament. By the 1930s, he had already lived more than most men ever would. But in 1933, as Adolf Hitler rose to power in Germany, Churchill began sounding the alarm. He warned Parliament again and again that Europe was heading toward catastrophe. Nobody wanted to hear it. He was called a warmonger, a relic, a man out of touch with reality. His own party pushed him aside. The press mocked him. For nearly a decade, he stood almost completely alone. Then, in May 1940, Germany swept through France in weeks. Britain had nowhere left to turn. Churchill became Prime Minister at 65 years old, with the continent already falling. He held Britain together through its darkest hours and helped turn the tide of the entire war. He was right the whole time. The world just needed to catch up. Did you know Columbus died believing he had reached Asia, never knowing he found a new world? Christopher Columbus was born in Genoa, Italy, around 1451. He grew up obsessed with the ocean and convinced himself he could reach Asia by sailing west. Most experts of his time told him his math was wrong. He ignored them all. In 1492, Spain's Queen Isabella funded his voyage. Columbus crossed the Atlantic and landed in the Caribbean. He called the people he met Indians, certain he had reached the East Indies. He was completely wrong. He made 4 voyages to the Americas and never once changed his mind. He died in 1506, still insisting he had touched the coast of Asia. Here is the strange part. He was wrong about nearly everything. Wrong about the distance. Wrong about the destination. Wrong about what he found. And yet his mistake reshaped the entire world. Columbus never knew what he actually discovered. But the world never forgot what he accidentally did. Sometimes the biggest achievements come from the most stubborn delusions. Did you know Julius Caesar laughed at his own ransom and then executed the men who set it? Julius Caesar was born in 100 BC in Rome to a noble but struggling family. From the start, he carried himself like a man who knew exactly where he was headed. When pirates captured him at sea and demanded 20 talents of silver, Caesar told them they had insulted him. He demanded they ask for 50. He spent his weeks in captivity writing poetry, bossing his captors around, and calmly promising to crucify every one of them. They thought he was joking. He was not. The moment he was freed, he raised a fleet, hunted them down, and kept his word. That story tells you everything. Caesar had a gift for making people love him, and an iron will behind the charm. He rose through Roman politics, crossed the Rubicon with his army in 49 BC, and made himself dictator of the most powerful empire on earth. He was so impossible to control that his own allies put 23 knife wounds in him to stop him. Some men are simply too big for the world around them. Did you know Genghis Khan was once a slave before he conquered half the world? Temujin was born around 1162 on the Mongolian steppe. When he was just 9 years old, his father was poisoned by a rival tribe. His own clan then abandoned his family, leaving them to starve in the wilderness. Things got worse. Temujin was captured by enemies and forced to wear a wooden slave collar around his neck. He escaped, but life on the steppe was brutal and unforgiving. He had nothing. No army, no land, no power. But Temujin remembered every humiliation. He used that hunger to build alliances, one small tribe at a time. He rewarded loyalty and crushed betrayal. Slowly, the boy who had been left for dead became the most feared man alive. By 1206, he united all of Mongolia and took the title Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. He He then built the largest contiguous empire in human history, stretching from China to Eastern Europe. From slave collar to ruler of the world, no one saw it coming.